Many foreigners want to invest here in Brazil, but many times they think it's too risky, or Brazil is not a good place to invest or to open business. And in this video I will try to bring you a different view from this and try to show you that Brazil can be a huge opportunity for making really good money and to invest. Okay, is like they say, behind great difficulties we have great opportunities too. Okay, and I will try to show you the other side. I will give you here 3 main points that are pros of investing in Brazil, that you really should look to this. Okay, and a tip for you. If you wanna here invest, how is the best way like to invest, to take less risk? Okay, because we know that open business is not safe way. Okay, we always have risks, okay, in every part of the world. But if we have information, we can like minimize the risks, let me say like this. Okay, and we know, if you are an entrepreneur, you know that being an entrepreneur is a very lonely journey. Okay, because not all people are entrepreneurs. Okay, a very small percentage of the population is entrepreneur. So when you go to places like try to have a conversation about business, people generally work for a company or something like this and don't really understand. And when you look for information, it's very scarce, because successful entrepreneurs in the real world, generally they don't share the real information that makes the difference. They generally makes, like they say, very abstract thing, very generic things that at the end of the day doesn't make the real difference. Okay, but whatever. Let me focus in the topic. I will talk specifically here to Brazil, because I had business. I've had 2 business. Now I have 1 business. I work by myself, my own company here in Brazil. Okay, so I think I have, let me say, the right to talk about this. Okay, let me say like this. Well, so let's start here by the first pro of investing in Brazil is that top investments here are scarce. Okay, top investments. What I mean by top investments are like business that need a lot of investment to open. Okay, like, let me give you 2 examples here that I wrote down that I think are good business and are scarce. Petrol, gas station, that place that you fuel your car. Okay, yes, we have a lot of gas stations here, but they are not a lot of gas stations. Okay, I think there is space to build more of that. And generally what I see is these gas stations always have cars going in and out and giving money every time, because here in Brazil we need cars. Okay, and that's it. And I see that the gas stations I see here in my city generally doesn't close, go bankrupt, things like this, are always the same for years and years and years at the same location. Okay, so this is a very indicative we have a stable niche, a stable market. When you see a lot of companies and the year later you see they are all closed, you see as a very unstable niche. Okay, gas station here, they are for decades at the same place and they have clients and clients. Okay, another sector, it's very stable and needs a lot of investment, but it's a very stable sector, private schools. Okay, Uh, I remember 25 years ago when I was a kid, we have big, small brands here in my city, Fortaleza, it's in the northeast Brazil. They were small brands, okay? And these brands of private schools are until today, and they are a lot bigger today, okay? So it's another indicative that is a stable business. And here in Brazil, we doesn't have a good public education, okay? It's not that it's bad education, because we have excellent professors, teachers in these public universities, so, but the environment is not good for taking our kids to these places generally, mainly in big cities, okay, in big metropolis. Generally, we have problems with violence, with drugs, with a lot of things that the fathers, a lot of them, mainly that I know, that they doesn't want that for their kids. So here in Brazil, in the end of the day, a lot of people spend with private education. They doesn't use the public system. So it opens a huge demand for that. So here people have to spend with private education. And gas station too. When I say that this niche that demands a lot of investments are good, is because what happens here in Brazil? The purchase power here is extremely low, insanely low. So the poor people, it's very difficult to poor people access this kind of high investment niches, okay, like a gas station, a private school that demands a big structure with a lot of professors, a lot of teachers. For the average worker here is almost impossible. So the average worker here, what they do here generally is saving a little bit of money and open a very small food shop, like selling cake, selling small snacks in the street, in their home, okay? The big investment, let me say, business here is very strict, okay? And the system here in Brazil makes people, does not favor people going from poverty to richness. Like I put a small snack business and I want to like grow exponentially. They difficult a lot, and let me explain why. Because we have a lot of labor laws, and we have a lot of taxes that are very unfair, because the government tax here in the gross income and not in the revenue, okay? So even if you are a small entrepreneur and you are, let me say, you take all your life savings, that generally is not a lot, because we make in reais, and reais are worth very few. You put a business, you are average worker, and you put everything in that business, and the government doesn't want to know if you have profit in your small business. They charge you in your gross income, and I think it's very unfair, okay? I don't know how is the dynamics in your country, but I've heard about that in the United States is not like this. Well, but the tax for the small entrepreneur here is very high, okay, very high. But for the big companies, it's good, because they have all a financial team, accountant team, they have a lot of managers. So for them it's bad too, but at least they can manage this better, and the small entrepreneur has no chance in this market, absolutely. So this favors these kinds of high invest niche, okay? So I know that probably you are not rich, okay? And I will give you my solution at the end of this video for you that are not rich. And for you that see this video and have a little bit more of capital, what you can do is partner with other investors and make like a good amount of capital, okay, put it together and open a big business here with a good structure, okay. I will give, at the end of the video, I will go more deep in this, but let me come back here to the pros of opening a business in Brazil. Number 2, Brazilians spend a lot of money, okay? It's similar to Americans, okay? When you compare the European culture and the American culture, the United States culture, it's based on spending. People spend a lot of money, is always spending and worrying about finances. They make a lot of money in USA, but I don't know what happens. The money, they always spending. Okay, so this is not the case in Europe. Let me say like this. Obviously, they spend a lot too, but many times they save a little bit more, or they spend more in quality of life. Let me say, make a trip, something like this. Americans in USA, they spend a lot with things, with groceries, with a lot of stuff, okay? And Brazilians has this culture too. The Brazilians are high spenders, okay? They spend they make a few money and they spend everything, and they spend what they don't have with credit cards and installments, let me say like this. People here use a lot the credit card and the installments. The purchase power is low, so what they do is like, you make a purchase of an iPhone here that is like 10,000 reais. It's like $2,000 here in Brazil. They put in 10 installments of $200 per month, like me say like this. Okay? So this is good for business, because in a high spending market, if you put a business, you have more chance that people will spend money in your business, okay? In a slower market, let me say like this, people don't spend a lot, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you don't have a lot of people willing to spend, okay? And number 3 is advantage here in Brazil, it's the lack of competition, okay? Really, here in Brazil, we have lack of competition, of people that makes things really, that make business in a professional way, okay? Let me say like this, okay? We notice when we go in the street, we see, we go in a shopping center, we see the stores crowded of people. If we have something new, wow, crowded of people, something very little, crowded of people, okay? So people here have this kind of scarcity of things to do, because here, what happens here in Brazil, we doesn't have many parks, free places to go, so people always have to spend to have fun, let me say like this, in many times, okay? So they always looking for something to spend, and really, as I say, very difficult to for an average Brazilian make a business here in Brazil because of things I say. So the market here begins to be very, very scarce of service, okay? So what tips I give you in the end of the video if you wanna open here in Brazil, a business here in Brazil? I recommend you to follow 2 paths mainly, okay? If you doesn't have contacts here in Brazil, friends here in Brazil, something like this, if you don't speak Portuguese, if you have no experience here in Brazil, you don't know how is the culture here, the labor, the point here, the one of the most difficult things here is working with employees here is one of the most difficult things. And the culture here in Brazil is very different from, let me say, USA, Europe, okay? People is, I'm not saying that Brazilian people that doesn't like to work, okay? It's not like this. Brazilian people are very capable people, because we face a lot of difficulties here that make us be very resilient, something like this. But there is some details with the culture that you have to get this. Okay, it's very risky. You just put a lot of money in, not a lot, because I'm saying if you don't have money, okay, putting some money in hiring a lot of people without knowing how people here works, okay, is very risky. So if you don't have money, if you have a little bit of money and you want to open a business, I recommend you, first of all, put a small, very, very, very small business, but don't hire a lot of people. Hire at maximum 1 people, okay, at the maximum. And it will be a place that you need to be in that place to, every day there. It's kind of a job, but it's a high paid job, okay, because if you discover a niche, you can get paid a lot. But at the beginning, you have to be in that business and have not a lot of employees. This is one path. The other path here is really taking a little bit more of capital, okay? How much? Okay, let me say from up to $40,000, okay? At least $40,000, okay? If you have $100,000, it's best, because you can access franchise in sectors, because what happens in franchise, if you open a franchise like in the food sector, there are a lot of good franchise. You already have the training, the system, everything set up, okay? So you don't need to deal with employees directly, okay? One by one, let me say like this. And there is already a team. They will give a direction, something like this. It's a little bit better. But if you can let me say, take more money, as I say in this video, as much money you get, you tend to have a more well-structured business. Generally in a franchise, that you have everything set up, so all these problems that I mentioned, it will affect less you, and you have less competition, because as I say, the majority of people here don't have access to bigger business, to put bigger business, because they are stuck in small business trying to survive. So it makes people that invest more have more space, okay? And if you have a lot of money, partner with other investors and put like a gas station or private schools maybe, okay? Basic education, okay? Basic education, the education sector is very strong here, okay? These are these 2 examples, okay? So, or you go in a direction, put a very, very small business and try to learn the culture little by little, or you are rich, okay? You take a lot of money and research a good franchise with everything set up in a good niche, okay? Or you partner with other investors and take a lot more money, okay? Let me say $200,000, $300,000, and your return will be massive, and probably, okay, I'm not guaranteeing, obviously it's a business, okay, it's not guaranteed, but as I say, the competition here is, you have a lot of space here for these big structures, a little bit more, let me say, organized. Oh, that's it. I think my English is not perfect, but I hope this helped you in some way to make things clear. And just like this video, if you like the video, put the comments here. If you have any questions, I try to answer, okay? And that's it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.